This is unbelievable. The apology that ought to be given is to the American taxpayer, not to a government agency that is abusing its power. I am sitting here listening to this testimony. I don't believe it. That's your problem. Nobody believes you.
Come on now.
The Internal Revenue Service comes to Congress a couple years ago and misleads us and says no targeting is occurring. Then it said it was a few rogue agents in Cincinnati. Then it said it was also on progressives. All of those things have been proven untrue. This committee sent a criminal referral of possible criminal wrongdoing just a month ago to the Justice Department. We've heard nothing. You bury in a 27-page letter to the Senate asking for them to conclude the investigation that you've lost Lois Lerner's emails during the time in question because of a hard drive crash. Monday, our investigators asked your agency whether any other hard drives crashed, and we learned that 6 other hard drives of the people we're investigating were involved. You didn't tell us that.
We told you on Monday.
On Monday.
And what did you do with the information?
Because we asked you.
Right, and what did you do with that information?
You told us on Monday because we asked you whether any other hard drives crashed. This is unbelievable.
We answered
you told us on May that you were going to give us all of Lois Lerner's emails, and you learned in February that this crashed.
I did not learn in February it was a crash, and we told you on Monday.
I'm not asking you a question. I'm just making a statement.
My apologies.
You are the Internal Revenue Service. You can reach into the lives of hardworking taxpayers, and with a phone call, an email, or a letter, you can turn their lives upside down. You ask taxpayers to hang on to 7 years of their personal tax information in case they're ever audited, and you can't keep 6 months' worth of employee emails? And now that we are seeing this investigation, you don't have the emails. Hard drives crashed. You learned about this months ago. You just told us, and we had to ask you on Monday. This is not being forthcoming. This is being misleading again. This is a pattern of abuse, a pattern of behavior that is not giving us any confidence that this agency is being impartial. I don't believe you. This is incredible.
I have a long career. That's the first time anybody has said that you do not believe me. I
don't believe you.
That's fine. We can have a disagreement. I'm willing to stand on our record. I'm willing to remind you that it was not buried in 27 pages. Most of that 27 pages is exhibits. When asked about the custodians, we advised you, which we knew for one day.
Being forthcoming is to say,
I'm sorry,
you know what, investigators, Congress who's investigating this about
Will you
this?
let him answer the question?
I didn't ask him a question.
Yes, you
Being
did.
forthcoming.
The gentleman
I control the time.
from Wisconsin.
I control the time.
I realize that disrupting a hearing sort of
No, come on.
No.
people, but the gentleman from Wisconsin.
I am not yielding time. I control the time.
He has a time.
Here's what being forthcoming is.
Regular order.
If we are investigating criminal wrongdoing, targeting of people based on their political beliefs, and the emails in question are lost because of a hard drive crash that is apparently unrecoverable, which a lot of IT professionals would question, and you don't tell us about it until we ask you about it, that is not being forthcoming.
And that's true.
I yield back the balance of my time.
That's not true.
The gentleman yields back. The gentleman has yielded back his time.
Thank you.
Mr. Neal is recognized.
Well, I'm actually going to let you answer Mr. Ryan's question. Go ahead.
Right. Mr. Ryan tried to lead the impression that only by being asked did we reveal the information about the hard drive crash. First of all, I would reiterate the information about the hard drive crash is in the emails that you and your staff have had for some time. Secondly, we produced that public report telling you about the email loss on our own. It was not in response to a question. Third, we learned on Monday morning about the custodians. We were asked, our staff was asked on Monday afternoon. We told them all we knew, which was there was an indication there had been a hard drive problem with 6 others. The next morning, this committee put out a release leaping to the conclusion that therefore emails had been lost, particularly Nicole Flax's emails. It turns out as we've continued to work, and we have more work to do, that there's no evidence that any Nicole Flax email was lost. We are responding. What we are trying to do, as the Treasury letter suggested, is as soon as we are able to give you a full picture, we are providing that. It's not in response to a question. That was a public report we provided you. We will continue to provide you documents. You have 770,000 pages. You will have 67,000 Lois Lerner emails. 24,000 of Lois Lerner emails in the period when it crashed have not been lost. They will be produced to you.
Commissioner.
Mr. Neal, on this point, may I ask you a question? May I ask a question here in your time, and I'll give you some more time. There is a distinction. Yes, the committee did know about the hard drive, but we did not know about the server. There is a distinction. We did not know about the server. And the server, came in the carbon copy of the letter you sent to the Senate. The server means they're lost forever. A hard drive crash doesn't necessarily mean that the emails are lost forever. So there is a significant distinction here that has not been made yet to date. So, Mr. Neal, you have, I'll make sure you have more time.
Would you like to respond?
You may, yes.
And that's an important question, and one of the reasons that we did not immediately say we discovered a hard drive crash, because as you just noted, a hard drive crash does not mean that emails have been lost forever. And in fact, in the case of Lois Lerner, 24,000 of her emails were not lost. They have actually been found. They will be produced. You have 5,000 of them already. You'll have 24,000 of them by the end of the month. So when a hard drive crashes, the emails do not necessarily disappear. Her email account, any emails in those accounts, which were the emails we could find in that period, were included and did not crash.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner, I must tell you that based on what we've heard